Good morning and welcome back to the Electrek Formula Sun Grand Prix 2025 here at NCM Motorsports Park in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Today is day 3 and the final day of the Electrek Formula Sun Grand Prix. Teams have 8 more hours today to complete as many laps as they can. Today from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. My name is Jonathan Mullen. I am on the staff of the Formula Sun Grand Prix here. I want to thank you for joining us this morning as we see the cars getting ready on the starting grid for the third and final day. The solar cars are required to be out in the starting grid about 15 minutes early. They need to get through the gate at least, and you can do their final checks out here on the track. So I have about 12 minutes until the start of day 3. Let's run through the standings after day 2. So in the MOV class, we have 3 cars that have hit the track: Poly Montreal, App State, who you see in the front on the right side there, and Georgia Tech. Poly Montreal has 156 laps, App State 153, and Georgia Tech 27. Of course, the MOV class is decided by score, not by laps. So looking at score after day 2, Poly Montreal has a score of 106, App State of 35, and Georgia Tech of 4. That score is determined by a variety of factors, including average speed, number of miles driven, number of people in the car, and the external charging of their battery from the wall. In the SOV class, we have a tie still at the top with Stanford and Illinois, both with 139 laps. The current tiebreaker is puts Illinois in front. Their fastest lap is 1 second faster than Stanford's. Florida Poly is in third place with 121 laps. Western Michigan in fourth with 105. University of California, Berkeley with 97. Florida with 79. Washington with 61. Waterloo with 32. Illinois State with 31. Virginia Tech 29. Montana State 8. Missouri S&T 4. And then we also have SIUE and UT Austin, who have been on the track and will be on the track today. Here on the track, you can see all of the teams getting their cars ready. They will also go through a final check with a member of the staff here at Formula Sun Grand Prix. Before the car is allowed to go out, the car needs to go through a series of checks. You can see a waving arm behind the Illinois car on the left side, which is a rear vision check. It also doubles as a turn signal check, as they're indicating which turn signal they want on through the rear camera. They're checking all the lights, the turn signals, the brakes, and they're going to check the horn finally. Before the cars entered and the drivers enter, they also check that the appropriate ballast goes in with the driver. These checks happen every time the car comes into pit for a driver swap or any other service before they head back on the track. The teams have now done this at the beginning, so the cones have been removed from in front of the front 2 cars here, and they're going down to do the remaining at this point. Not all of the cars are on the starting grid this morning, but the remaining cars will likely join the track shortly after. Some teams have decided to remain in the charging field to charge a little bit more before heading out on the track this morning. I know the University of California, Berkeley is also waiting for a re-inspection of their car. They had to make some replacements of some parts yesterday that had issues, and so they have to go through re-inspection before they're allowed on the track. That is happening this morning as well, and they'll be out there as soon as possible. can take you now to our camera that's on the starting grid, and you can see inside of the App State car. Drivers are getting in, buckled up, getting their communications ready. Other than checking the car, the communication to the pit will also be checked. It's important that the drivers have communication back to their team should anything go wrong, or should we need to communicate anything out to the car. The car you see on the screen now is the Illinois car. They are our leader via tiebreak in the SOV class. You can see one of our staff members on screen, I believe waiting to do a lights check on the App State car. Off to the right there is the Stanford car. About 5 minutes from the start of the day now. App State's getting their steering wheel on and their driver ready.
5 minutes until green flag.
The teams are getting everyone except their drivers off of the track. It's 5 minutes before start. See a turn signal check here for the App State car. And a horn test. So on the starting grid this morning, we have App State, Illinois, Stanford, Florida Poly, Illinois State, and Montana State. That's 6 cars. We have 10 additional cars who we hope will all make it onto the track today, who are cleared for the start. Here we have the Illinois State car and the Montana State car, who will be pulling up the rear of this starting grid this morning. Starting grid order is determined by number of laps completed so far. Our 2 MOV teams at the top, Esteban, Poly Montreal, and App State, have completed the most laps. Esteban is not ready for the start grid this morning, so App State claimed the number 1 position. Behind that, Stanford and Illinois are tied with the most laps. Illinois is ahead of them on virtue of our tie break, which is fastest lap time. Currently, the fastest lap time between Stanford and Illinois is officially a difference of 1 second, as our timing is to the nearest second. If you look at the transponder data from the track, you'll see that it's actually very small fraction of a second. So these teams are really neck and neck going into day 3. Be very interesting to watch and see their strategy throughout the day and see if anyone pulls away or if it's going to be right to the finish today. Florida Poly behind them has been our most consistently on the track car, and that has got them currently a 3rd place position in the SOV class. If they can stay out there doing what they've done the last 2 days, about 60 laps a day, they should be in a very good spot to claim that 3rd spot on the podium and to keep Illinois and Stanford honest and right there if any of them miss any time on the track today. Behind Florida Poly, we have Western Michigan chasing them, and if Berkeley gets on the track, We'll expect to see them pushing Florida Poly as well today. Under 2 minutes now until the green flag flies on the final day of FSGP. And the green flag has flown, and the cars are off. Here goes Illinois. Looks like our App State car is having a little bit of trouble here. Here goes Stanford, Florida Poly, Illinois State, and finally Montana State. Hopefully App State will get their car ready to go here momentarily. So the cars are out for 8 continuous hours of solar racing today. Until 5 p.m. they have to complete laps. You can see App State here, out here, working to get their car quickly fixed and get on the track as soon as possible. We will stay with you here for the first few laps this morning, and may be able to leave the cameras on for longer than that. And we'll be back again at the end of the day for at least the final hour of racing as we see the finish, which may be a very tight finish in our SOV class. There we go. Here goes App State. They are back on the track for day 3. Looks like we have another solar car joining the track this morning. This is our leading MOV team, car number 55 from Poly Montreal. They'll want to get out there, and they have a couple lap lead on App State and a large score lead, but they need to keep the miles going today to maintain that advantage for a podium finish tonight. Comes another team onto the track. Car 786 from Western Michigan University. Here comes another late joiner to the track down pit lane. This is Missouri S&T. We also have our first car finishing its first lap. That's the Illinois car. And we are going to get you switched over to the front straight view here now. We got Stanford coming in next. Just a little behind the Illinois car, but maintaining pace. Looks like it's going to be a close race between those two cars today. Next up is the Illinois State car. Entering the track behind camera, coming out of the pit, is number 6, Cowsell. So we'll see them as they finish their first lap of the day in probably about 6 minutes. There goes Florida Poly completing their first lap.
Landing.
Welcome back. I apologize for those technical difficulties here. Let me see. We are back here with the day 3 start line. While we were gone, a few teams have joined the track. We have the Washington car, Cal Sol from UC Berkeley, Western Michigan, and Virginia Tech have made their way out on the track. SIUE has also joined the track. Here comes App State completing another lap. And we're going to take to the skies here in a second and see what solar cars we can find out on the track. Here's our other MOV, Poly Montreal. We also have UBC making their way back onto the track, so we will see them as they come around on the front straight at the end of this lap. Here's our first look at the Cal Sol car. We have Montana State going around turn 10 here. Up at the front, we just had the University of Illinois complete their 3rd lap of the day, running at 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Georgia Tech is now also joining the track. I'll bring you up to the front straight here, where Stanford is going to be coming by momentarily. Here comes the Stanford car, and we'll get you their lap time. That was a 5:45 lap, running about 30 seconds slower than Illinois right now. Next up the front straight here, we have the Berkeley car back on the track after some difficulties yesterday. running at also about 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Here comes the Washington car. And behind them here is Florida Poly. And it looks like Illinois State. Oh, Virginia Tech first. Now Illinois State. There's the Florida Poly car. In the pit right now we have SIUE, Montana State, and Western Michigan. Looks like SIUE and Western Michigan are working on some quick fixes here in the hot pick. Montana State is exiting back to the cold pit. Comes a couple cars up the front straight. Looks like our two MOV teams, App State and Poly Montreal, followed by Missouri S&T. Once again, our MOV teams are running laps just over 6 minutes. There's Missouri S&T's second lap of the day, just about 8 minutes. And the University of Illinois completing their leading fourth lap of the day in 5 minutes and 13 seconds. In your bird's eye view of the track here, you can see the Virginia Tech and the Florida Poly cars on screen now. Here in the pits, SIUE is heading back out, so hopefully they will pass our next lap on the front straight, or we can get them on camera for you. This is the first time back on the track for SIUE since, I believe, 2018. So it's good to see their team back out here competing. I see Florida is also making their way onto the track for the first time today. And bring you back to the front straight here. Here we have the Stanford car, completing their fourth lap of the day. That was another 550 lap from Stanford. There's Calsol, 530 lap. Here comes Washington up the front straight. They're doing 517 laps, Washington. So that's the second fastest car so far today. Now we found Georgia Tech out on the track. They're back out there with their four-seater MOV, hoping to rack up some miles and person miles today on the track, having resolved their issues from yesterday. Trying to see who that is they're following right now. It's one of a couple cars that looks alike. That is the Illinois car. And there is Stanford passing Georgia Tech. And right behind that is the Florida car. Coming into turn 10 here, which is one of our no passing zones. They'll make their way around this turn. And then if anyone wants to make a move passing anyone, they can do that. Sorry, that is the SIUE car in front of the group. There goes Stanford. Now they can execute a pass on the right side there. Looks like Georgia Tech and Florida will be passing SIUE here as well. You can see a couple cars coming up the front straight on the right side there. So let's switch over to that view. Here we have App State and the University of Illinois. That is a 6-minute lap from Illinois, their 5th of the day, and a 6-minute 22nd lap from App State, their 4th of the day. Now we have Virginia Tech. Just completed an 8.5-minute lap. And we have the Poly Montreal and UBC cars over here in the hot pit undergoing some repairs. Looks like might be a tire change for Poly Montreal, and UBC is working on something on the inside of their car. Now we have Georgia Tech making their way around the front straight here. And Missouri S&T. First is Missouri S&T. Actually, we have a whole group of cars here. Missouri S&T, Illinois State, or Florida, Stanford, Cal Sol, Georgia Tech, and Washington.
Do you think they go up for a while?
Once again, our MOVs there are running just over 6-minute laps. And most of those SOVs there were running also about 6-minute laps. Stanford at 5:59, Berkeley at 5:44. Missouri S2 was at 8, and Washington with the fastest there at 5:16. Here comes SIUE on camera, completing their second lap of the day, 7 minutes and 44 seconds.
That heard a honk.
There was the Western Michigan car as well. They just 7-minute and 13-second lap. I've got the drone back up, and we're going to get to you to this group of cars here that are coming around turn 8. That's Georgia Tech behind Stanford, behind Virginia Tech, and let's see who else is in front of them. So there's Georgia Tech passing Virginia Tech at the back. In front of that is Stanford. In front of that is Cal Sol. And let's see who that front car is. Looks like that is Florida. Generally, solar cars don't love to be in traffic here, so we'll see them all get their own space here as they come through. On the front track here, we have Illinois passing Florida Poly. Illinois just completed a 5:15 lap and 6:09 for Florida Poly. So far, we've had 16 cars take the track out of a possible 17, I believe. We are missing UT Austin this morning. All of those teams have completed at least one lap. A couple of them are in the pit. UBC is in the pit, and Florida Poly has headed back to their garage. Montana State has headed back to their garage. So there's 14 cars on the track right now. App State continues with their consistent, a little over 6-minute laps. So far today, the University of Illinois is leading with 6 laps. Stanford, Illinois State, and Florida Poly have 5. App State, Berkeley, Washington, Poly Montreal with 4. Missouri, S&T, Western Michigan with 3. Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, and SIUE with 2. Montana State, Florida, and UBC with 1. Got that group of cars making their way up the front straight now. Got Berkeley on the left. And then Florida. And behind them is Stanford. That's 5:30 lap from Florida. 5:26 from Berkeley. And 5:59 from Stanford. Internet.
something you probably.
whole line of cars completing laps here. We're going to stay on here until we get our official 10 a.m. lap update, and then we will apologize for the technical difficulties with this morning's stream. We did have a power outage here briefly at the track, but luckily for the teams here, their cars are fully solar powered, so they were able to keep going. It's just a few minutes away from our 10 a.m. lap update, so we will get you official overall standings as of 10 a.m. If you want to keep watching after that, the track does have some cameras on their headquarters building here that show the front straight. Those are available on our website at americansolarchallenge.org. Navigate to the FSGP 2025 page and scroll down. You will see the live streams embedded there. So far, it looks like Illinois and Stanford are still running neck and neck. See with the 10 a.m. cutoff if one of them completed just one more lap in time, but the other team will probably complete that lap just after 10 a.m. And both running about 5.5-minute laps. There is the Georgia Tech car going by. I did confirm they have 4 passengers in the car and are running the fastest laps of the MOV class this morning. Several laps in a row now, right around 5 minutes and 45 seconds. So they are going to be running up those person miles on the other teams with twice as many people and faster lap times. Fortunately, due to some issues, they missed a lot of time on the track the last 2 days. Here we have the Illinois State car. Doing 5-minute and 15-second lap now. Looks like our 10 a.m. lap count is in progress of being made available here. Here is Stanford. 5-minute, 15-second lap, so they're speeding up just a little bit here. And Virginia Tech. And they are doing 8.5-minute laps right now. The Washington car, followed by Florida. Both of those cars doing about 5.5-minute laps. Maybe hear the honking here of the Calsol car passing Florida Poly. Coming across the timing line here, very close together. Calsol's doing 5:15 laps, and Florida Poly just over 6 minutes. Also doing 5:15 laps, maintaining very similar pace to Stanford. Two teams were tied on laps coming into the day, tie break being a fastest lap difference between them being less than a second. Western Michigan just came through doing 6-minute, 15-second laps. And App State behind them, still doing laps just over 6 minutes here. Very consistent. The MOV class has a requirement that teams maintain at least 30 miles an hour. And so a little over 6 minutes per lap here in our 3.15 mile track. That was a 9-minute lap for Missouri S&T. And our other MOV team there, Esteban, Poly Montreal, also doing 6-minute laps. Question about the UT Austin team. They are cleared for the track. I know they came out and did just a couple laps at the very end of the day yesterday. I'm not sure where they are this morning. I saw them this morning working on fixing something on their car. Hopefully they'll be out later today. All right, I do have the 10 a.m. lap update available for our total 3-day lap counts as of just after 10 a.m. this morning. We're going to get you that, and then we're going to have to end this live stream for this morning. We'll be back today at about 4 p.m. for the last hour of racing, and at about 7 p.m. for our award ceremony. But let's get the 10 a.m. lap update. So as of 10 a.m., Stanford, Illinois are still tied at the top of the SUV class with 151 total laps. They've each done 12 today. Illinois still has the tiebreaker on fastest lap by just about 1 second. Florida Poly is maintaining their third place with 131 laps. Western Michigan at 113 in fourth. Berkeley in fifth with 107. Florida with 86. Washington with 71. Illinois State moving up with 42. Virginia Tech also moving up with 35. Waterloo with 32. Missouri S&T with 11. Montana State with 10. SIUE with 3. And UBC with 2. In the MOV class, both Poly Montreal and App State have 10 laps today. Georgia Tech has 7. For totals of 166 for Poly Montreal, 163 for App State, and 34 for Georgia Tech. So I thank you for tuning in this morning. And as I said, we'll be back later this afternoon and evening. You can keep up with all the action of today on our website and on our social media. You can find us at American Solar Challenge on Instagram and Facebook. I've been Jonathan Mullen on the Electrek Formula Sun Grand Prix 2025 staff, and thank you for watching.